Hey, what's good, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazzo coming at you with a new album review. Oh, yeah. Today I am checking out the band Within the Ruins with their album Phenomenon 2. If you don't know who Within the Ruins are, they are a prog slash Djent metalcore band that's been around since about 2005. And if I'm correct, they're based out of Massachusetts. Besides the guitarist and the drummer, they've had a lot of member changes over the years. And this latest album is kind of them going back to their, I won't say roots, but they want to do a continuation of an album they released 10 years ago called Phenomena. And, everything lined up at a right time where they were like, yo, let's go back. Let's do some more to this with this album and just have some fun with it. When they released Phenomenon 1 back in 2014, at the time, I wasn't the biggest Within the Ruins fan. At best, I would say they seemed like a very dime a dozen metalcore metal act. And 10 years have gone by, and I've really sat down, listened to this album, some other albums they've released in between that time. And I gotta say, I gotta give props to where, where it's earned, where it's deserved. And I think Within the Ruins have really carved out their own name and style to become, not just another dime a dozen metal band. They've grown into their own lane, and they deserve the praise that they've earned with this particular album and their releases before that. With bold and crushing vocals, tight and energetic drumming, heavy bass playing, and of course, the big star of this band, the super technical and very impressive guitar playing, all of this combined together has really helped Within the Ruins really pave their own lane of metal that, they deserve the praise for. The super technical riff playing, the interesting guitar scaling, and the unique style and flavor of the guitars here are definitely the strongest thing about this band. And I think a good example of that is on the song Level 12, the way he's playing and just making some intricate styles here. It's very, very impressive. So here's a clip of that for you. There's no vocals on this, it's just an instrumental, but you can clearly tell that the guitars are the main focus. However, I will say their greatest strength can also be their greatest weakness with how long the songs can be and with how intense and intricate the guitars can sound like. They can be a bit overwhelming and I would say a little redundant, but they can create a lot of fatigue in you when you're listening to it. But it's like if they don't do that, they're not as unique. But if they keep doing it, it kind of overdoes it a little bit. So it's a weird balancing act. And I think they do an all right job of balancing out that reliance of that unique guitar style. But it is very, very, very on a fine line, I think. So I would say one thing that really made it really cool sometimes with the riffs is when they just did some simple groovy, chuggy like riffs, aka I think some like caveman style riffs where it wasn't being all glitz and glamour. And when those moments would happen, it definitely felt like a breath of fresh air, relief, because it wasn't so like highly technical and you had to really focus. Sometimes it's just nice to and have some caveman riffs. And like I said, good balance here. Just like how the guitars are very technical, the drumming here is pretty tight and technical and has a very dynamic feel throughout the whole album, especially the way he plays the cymbals. He has a good way of adding cymbal playing to the songs to give it a very good texture and tasteful feel and just makes it feel very elevated. And particularly on the song Chaos Reigns, the way he's hitting the chinas and the crashes and everything sound really dope. So I'll play a clip of that for you right now. They have a really good punchy feel to it, and those that cymbal playing just has a nice good feel to it. It's nice. Like I said, the bass playing here is very, very heavy, very dense, and has a very overall thick and vibrant feel to it. It's kind of surprising how heavy it can sound, with all the intense playing you have from the guitars and drums, but yet the bass can really come through sometimes and just really just make everything sound so dense and intense at the same time. Particularly on the songs Deathmask and Enigma 2, you can really feel the bass on those songs. So I want to play a clip of Enigma 2 for you. Super dense. In the vocal department, I would say I was never too like disappointed or never too really impressed. He's got a really good scream in terms of vocal fries and doing some gutturals. It fits well with this death metal prog style music, but I think because their past couple of releases had some clean vocals that were really good, and I think the clean vocals from the previous albums really gave them a nice and refreshing sound. So when I didn't hear any here, I was quite disappointed. But the main unclean vocals, they still do a pretty good job. Just well, not a good job, not a bad job. They're just doing all right. Just like the guitars, I think how technical and meticulous they are. The production here is the same. The layering, the mixing of all the instruments, all sound really good. Like they're, you know, equally and nicely layered out. And it just sounds really good. It sounds heavy. It sounds clear. Really good production with this album. So since this is like a sequel to an album they did before, like I said, 10 years ago, I don't think they were trying to be very innovative or, push their sound to somewhere else. It does feel like a continuation of that last album, which is kind of impressive because it's really hard to make sequels with music, I think, since you can only do so much because, once something's made, it was kind of like a flash in the moment thing. It's really hard to replicate. But I think these guys did a pretty good job of having fun with this release, going back and reminiscing about stuff they made before and kind of updating slash, making stuff that kind of blends in with those older sounds to continue a little bit. I think they did a good job with this sequel. And I would say this latest album from Within the Ruins, Phenomena 2, is a good, solid 8 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you thought. Like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, guys, I will see you in the pit.